everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Alice, and if you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can get all of my latest updates on adventures around the world and hiking destinations. If you clicked on this video, then you're probably interested in how to get started in hiking, what kind of gear you need, and what kind of fitness level you're going to need to be in. I'm going to go over all that and some of your questions that you asked me on Instagram right after this. That was your time to hit the subscribe button, so I hope you did, and I'm glad you're back because I want to tell you all about how amazing hiking is and what kind of stuff you need to get ready and hit the trails. First of all, I want to say congratulations for even thinking about hiking. It's one of the most amazing ways to not only explore your backyard, but the world, and I like to hike pretty much everywhere I go, so make sure you guys check out some of those other videos too if you're interested in other hiking videos. One of the most important things that you need when you're hiking is good hiking boots. And they don't have to be expensive, but they do need to be comfortable and they need to have good traction on the bottoms. My favorite pair is Merrell, and the reason that I love them so much, it's my third pair of the same shoe, is because they have really great soles, Vibram soles. They're good on a lot of different terrains. They dry quickly if they do get wet, and they're very, very comfortable. The last thing you want is an uncomfortable shoe. And I could do a whole video on this, so I won't get too far into how to pick the correct hiking shoe, but I will do another side video on this. When you are looking for a hiking boot, and I do recommend going into a store, trying them on, regardless of whether or not you buy them in the store, definitely figure out what works best for your foot. You don't want anything that's gonna be too tight on the sides of your foot, and you definitely don't want something that's too tight in the back on your heel, because when you are moving a lot, you want something that has a little bit of breathing room. You want to be able to wiggle your toes, and you want some air in there for, you know, your feet are gonna be hot and sweaty too. And you want to be able to fit extra thick socks in there if you are hiking where it's cold. And while we're on the subject of shoes, I actually want to go to one of my questions that I got on Instagram. So Maldor74 asked, what is the best way to handle ankle pain when you're out on a hike? And the best way to handle ankle pain, I always carry a little medical kit with me when I am hiking. So you could definitely wrap your ankle if you had the things to do that with, if you had an ace bandage or some sort of tape. The other thing is, if you are new to hiking, I absolutely recommend that you bring hiking poles. So a trekking pole is a great thing to pick up. It also is really great to save your knees if you do have bad knees or weak knees that need to get some more strength in them before you really hit the trail. So this is a great way to use not only on the uphill, but they're really, really great for going downhill. And you will notice when you start hitting the trail that the downhills are what really kind of wreak havoc on your knees and ankles. So trekking pole is absolutely something that you should carry in your backpack if you are going hiking. Hiking clothing. Now there's so much stuff out there as far as hiking clothing goes. There's so many options. I would say most of you probably have stuff in your wardrobe that you can already use to go hiking. You know, women, you can hike in yoga pants. One of my favorite items are these little Patagonia shorts. They're quick drying and comfortable. They're easy to pack, so if you do want to hit the trails in pants, those are easy to throw in your bag and then change quickly. I definitely recommend, if you are going out to get something specific, to look for a pant that is in a quick dry material that is going to wick away moisture and water if you do end up in the rain or in a stream. Who knows? You definitely want something that dries quickly, that's not going to make you cold if you are wet. So definitely something that dries quickly. And I actually have some recommendations that you guys can check out. There is a link in the description to my Amazon store where I have a lot of recommendations of great clothing for hiking and adventuring and backpacking. So check those out if you are looking for some gear. And same thing goes for tops. I definitely recommend something that is looser as opposed to tighter. Tighter stuff's just going to make you sweat more, and then you're probably going to be wet and uncomfortable. So something that's a little bit looser is great. So one of the questions I get a lot is, what kind of backpack do I need and how big should it be? So I'm going to go over a couple different things that you can use to carry stuff. This thing I really love. I did get it at REI, but it's basically like a hip satchel or a fanny pack, if you want to call it that. And there's a couple different brands that you can get, but the reason that I love this is because it holds 2 water bottles, and it's got a big pocket in the top here and then one in the front, so you can carry a good amount of stuff. And not only does it go around your waist, but it goes over your shoulder, so now a lot of that weight is actually on here. You don't have to worry about this falling down, so it's kind of the best of both worlds. And if you don't need a lot, this is a lot more comfortable, especially if it's hot out. You don't have to worry about like your back sweating and getting all kind of gross. So this thing I love. And again, if you want to check it out, you can go to the link down below in the description and check that out. If you do want to do the backpack route, there are all kinds of sizes. Now, if you're just getting started in hiking, you really don't need that much to bring with you, especially if you're doing shorter trails and you're not going to be out in the sun too long. So anything that's, less than 5 hours, I would say. A small backpack is fine. This is one of the ones that I have. And it holds just a small amount of things. I think it's probably like a 15-liter backpack. This also, you can put a solar panel on it if you want. But one of the things that I'm going to talk about additionally to this backpack is the need for a water bladder. And this is great because if you're thirsty, you can just do this. You don't even have to reach in your backpack. So a water bladder, absolute necessity. I would recommend when looking for a backpack, think about what you want to put in it and what your needs are. Are you someone that's going backpacking? Are you just doing day hikes? Are you going to be doing rappelling? What kind of equipment are you bringing? That kind of will help you narrow down a backpack. And definitely look for one that has a spot to put a water bladder in it. That is maybe a separate compartment than the rest of your backpack as well. So just in case it leaks, doesn't get your stuff wet. And if you guys want to know what you should put in your backpack, well, guess what? I've got another video you can check out right there. What's in my backpack when I go hiking. It goes over all the safety equipment and extra clothing and accessories that I bring on my hikes. So check that out if you have any questions on that kind of stuff as well. And then other than that, the most important thing is to just be prepared. Don't hit the hiking trail without water. Make sure that you know where you're going. Make sure you've either downloaded trail maps on your phone through Pro Trails or All Trails, or you've picked up a trail map like these ones. And if you are hiking in national or state forests, even county forests, sometimes there is usually a guard shack somewhere where you can pick up trail maps. And always also tell a friend if you're going to go by yourself. Tell them when you're going, when you expect to return, and where you're going. Also, not everyone wants to hike alone. I would say the best way to get started in hiking also is to join in with some friends or join a hiking group. There are tons of groups out there. I'm a member of a bunch of them. Women Who Hike is great for ladies. Also, Girls Who Hike is another one that's great for ladies. They have chapters all over the US and even the world. There are tons of meetup groups that do hiking, and REI has hiking groups as well. So just look around in your local community. There's a ton of Facebook groups that do hikes. So there's lots of ways for you to be able to get involved with people that are just getting started in hiking too. And I hope you guys have a ton of fun out there because it's going to blow your mind, all the amazing things you see in the wilderness, and I think you're just going to love it. The last thing I want to talk to you guys about is these questions you had on Instagram. So first of all, thank you so much, you guys, for joining in on the conversation with me on Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram, you guys can check out my Instagram, Alice's Adventures on Earth, and from there, come and engage with me, chat with me, ask me any questions you might have about hiking. So one of the questions I got was from Armand, and he asked my biggest tips for Mount Kilimanjaro. So last year I climbed Mount Kilimanjaro. It is one of the 7 summits, one of the tallest mountains in the world at over 19,500 feet. It took 7 days and it was really challenging. Now, I would recommend any of you that have questions on this, check out my blog post that I have up on the website, alicesadventuresonearth.com. I'll put a link right here you guys can check out. But I would say my biggest tips, there's so many, so I'll try to keep this short. Definitely dress in layers. It's so important. Kilimanjaro has 4 different climate zones. You're going to go from jungles to basically the Arctic. It's so important to pack and dress in layers, and don't pack a lot because you have to carry that. Your pack will be heavy if you overpack. So pack in layers, but don't overpack. There's so many recommendations that I could give you. That is one, once you're on the mountain. The other one is just do your training. Do not go and just think, oh, so many people hike it, I can do it, whatever, it's fine. No, do your training. I've also got up on my site, if you join our mailing list, you can get my free 3-month training guide, and it's absolutely great. It goes over daily workouts for 3 months of what you need to do to get in tip-top shape for hiking Kilimanjaro. It also works for other high altitude climbs like Everest Base Camp. That it's a lot of swimming and running, and you definitely want to be able to run 3 miles without stopping before you leave for Kilimanjaro. Lastly, my tip on that, but check out the website for sure, would be go slowly. And if you are going with a good guiding group, which hopefully you have picked one that is KPAP certified, that has fair and equitable working conditions for their porters, they will encourage you and not allow you to go very fast, because it is super easy to get altitude sickness. So take it slow, dress in layers, and be prepared. Those are my top 3 for Kilimanjaro, but check out the website for some more details and my own personal experience in climbing the mountain as well. The last question came from Krieger versus Big Brother. Thanks so much for asking this. He asked, what are my favorite hikes? Well, I've got a couple. My favorite hike here in California is the Mishimaqua Trail. That's just right down the street from me in the Santa Monica Mountains. I actually just did a video on that, so you guys can stay tuned for that in a little bit. And my other favorite hike is one that I grew up doing with my family. It's called Eagle Cliff, and it's in Sandwich, New Hampshire, where I grew up. It's like a hidden little trail on the roadside, so if you're not a local, you won't know where it is. But it climbs up all these rocks. It's a pretty steep trail. It was a ton of fun as a kid, and it comes up to the top of this bald-faced granite cliff that overlooks the lake. And the best part is that when you get back down to the bottom, you can jump in for a swim, and so I just have so many great memories of that. And I would say my favorite really big climb was probably it's a hard decision. I loved Kilimanjaro, but I also really loved Kinabalu, which was in Malaysia, and I loved hiking the tallest mountain in Portugal as well. Those were all really, really fun, and I really liked them, and I hope to do them again one day. So I just want to say thanks again to you guys that reached out via Instagram. If you do have other questions relating to any of the stuff that I talked about today, please let me know. You can either comment on this video, or you can reach out to me on Instagram or Twitter, and I will do my best to get back to you quickly. And make sure you check out the description box below, because I've got a link to my Amazon shopping page that's got recommendations on not only all this gear that I talked about today, but other gear that you might be interested in for adding to your hiking bag. So check that out as well. And I hope you guys join me again on my channel. I've got some great new videos coming out on my adventures in Kauai, and I'm going back to Norway in just a couple of days here, so exciting stuff to come. Make sure again that you are subscribed, and I will see you guys out again soon, and don't forget to send me your questions if you've got any. Bye!